Trying to get a deeper understanding of the notwithstanding clause, François Legault's government invoked it for its secularism bill, Bill 21, and again this week for Quebec's new language law, Bill 96, which was adopted on Tuesday. And so joining us now for more on this, we have reached Frederic Berard. He's a lawyer and a professor in constitutional law at the Université de Montréal. And Maître Bérard is also challenging the use of the notwithstanding clause in court for Bill 21. And he joins us now on the line. Maître Frédéric Berard, good afternoon. Welcome.
Well, thank you.
Why don't we start with the history? What is the clause, the purpose of this clause? Why was it created?
Well, actually, that was part of the deal in 1982 when Pierre Trudeau didn't want any compromise on rights and freedoms, but certain provinces in the West made it pretty clear that they needed that clause if Trudeau wanted to have their approval. So that's how it worked at the time. But there's one thing that we forgot is that compromise was based on the fact that the notwithstanding clause will be used not as preventive, but only as part of a dialogue with courts when and only when the legislature would be not satisfied with a court decision. So now we see that it's not the way we use that notwithstanding clause in Quebec since François Legault came into power.
Okay, so in your view then, the way it's been used for Bill 21 and Bill 96, it was used in a preventive fashion?
Yeah, so how it works, it's pretty simple. They use the notwithstanding clause not only in the Canadian Charter of Rights, but also in the Quebec Charter of Rights, and they use it like in a preventive way, saying that all the rights and freedom within Bill 21 and within Bill 96 are now suspended, thank you very much, without any justification, which is, in my opinion, quite a problem when you live in a society that is based on the rule of law.
So at what point then would you introduce a notwithstanding clause?
Well, as I said, I mean, if you want to use it first, it has to be exceptional. I mean, it's not a way, you don't use the notwithstanding clause just for the fun of it, just for the fun of saying we live in Quebec, c'est ici qu'on vit au Québec, and that's the way we live, and blah, 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 blah. It doesn't work like that. You use it only when it's urgent, when it's important, and in this exceptional matters. But now we're seeing it. I mean, they're using it just for the fun of it. And this is I'm repeating myself, but this is quite a problem. If you want to use the notwithstanding clause, you use it in, I'm repeating again, in exceptional way. For instance, when you disagree with the decision of the court, and only if you disagree. Now we use it to prevent the court of certain rulings that would certainly unplease the François Legault's government.
So, Maître Bérard, then how would you go about arguing this before a court and say, this was not invoked in the proper manner? What are the arguments of law you would have to use to fight this?
Well, what I plead in the Superior Court in Quebec in the decision about Bill 21 was a bit technical, but how may I put it? I think that we need to I think that the legislature needs to justify why they use notwithstanding clause. We need only one condition, and the condition is to prove that they are pursuing an objective that is urgent and serious and real. So you don't use it just for the fun of it, as I said. This is what I plead, and we'll see how it goes. We're going in a court of appeal probably next year.
This is for Bill 21.
Yeah,
for the
correct.
Secularism law.
Yeah, and as for my argument would also fit, I guess, pretty well for Bill 96 because it's how how easy. The legislature used those with notwithstanding clause without any justification. That is a matter, and I think that the court has now to raise the bar a little bit and saying, okay, you want to use it, that's fine, but now you need to prove why you use it.
Let me ask you, Maître Bérard, could this set a precedent?
Yes, of course. I'm asking for a precedent. That's quite obvious. Because the court in 1988 in the Ford case said that there are no justification for the use of the notwithstanding clause. Now I'm asking the courts to revise their jurisprudence and to add that little justification that I just talked about. I think that this is necessary in 2022 since the way we're perceiving the notwithstanding clause has been changed quite a lot since 1988.
Do you see yourself also joining in a challenge against Bill 96, in addition to what you're already doing against Bill 21?
Well, actually, we'll see if I do have some offers about that, but as of now, I'm not involved in any challenge with Bill 96 now.
And so as the conversation continues around Bill 96, for you as a lawyer with your legal mind, what are you watching for?
Well, actually, what I'm watching for is I'm not watching anything, actually. I'm just quite sad about, how the rule of law is losing ground in Quebec right now. And when I talk about the rule of law, I'm talking about fundamental rights. And fundamental rights are not negotiable. And if you want to suspend them, it might be possible from time to time, but only if it's urgent, important, exceptional. And now I don't see that. I see a culture of, the rights, we don't really care about that. What's important, as François Legault says, is what the majority think. But I'm sorry, but if you have minority rights, I mean, you need to respect them in a certain way, and you cannot ask the majority to decide what the minority rights are from time to time. It just doesn't work like that. It's not the rule of law. It's not the Canada I'm used to. It's not the Quebec I'm used to. If you think about what Lucien Bouchard said, when he was the premier of Quebec, he said, I will never use notwithstanding clause because I want to see myself in the mirror and don't be shy about it. So just think about that. I mean, it's only 20 years ago, and everything collapsed in a few years. So I'm very, very sad and how may I say it, concerned about what's happening right now.